Welcome back, YouTube Axis and Allies brethren, to the turret in Goldsboro, North Carolina, where we're playing a game of Anniversary Edition, version 1941, between Cpt Jack and Pvt Joe as the Axis and LT as the Allies. This is Japan's round 4, so J4 turn. For purchases, we're going to produce one transport for 7, one fighter for 10, one bomber for 12, and one infantry for 3. All right, so for the combat portion of this round, we've got, I believe we've got 4 combat movements. We've got 4 target markers on the board. The first one is going to be, we're going to bring a transport from C-Zone 62 with a tank and an infantry, and a fighter from the carrier in C-Zone 62 is going to come down and support this attack. It will have moved 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 3 on the land, and have 1 movement left in its fuel gauge once the battle is over. It's going to be attacking 1 British artillery unit. So we'll go roll that now. All right, so here's the roll. We've got 1 Japanese fighter with a blue hit die. We've got 1 Japanese tank with a blue hit die. We've got 1 Japanese infantry with a black hit die, and we've got 1 UK infantry with a green hit die. So we can roll all those at one time. Japan is looking for 1 hit, and they got no hits. But the UK infantry, artillery, got a hit. So Japanese will lose 1 infantry unit, and they'll press the attack on. So once again, we'll have 2 blue die for the fighter and the fighter and the tank, and we'll have 1 green die for the UK artillery. Here we go, and there's the hit. So the UK artillery has been eliminated, and it did not hit on its return fire. All right, so for the next combat movement, we've got 1 transport leaving from C-Zone 35 off the coast of India, moving 2 spaces into C-Zone 48 with 2 infantry, landing on the island of New Guinea. That will, along with the Philippine Islands that was just taken by Japan, that will increase the IPC value up, or the IPC total up 1 more. So they'll have so far 3 IPC increase. But along with that transport is being supported by a battleship or escorted by a battleship and a cruiser. So the island of New Guinea is now in possession of the Japanese Empire. All right, for the third combat movement of this round, we've got 2 fighters coming from Burma at a movement of 2 from Burma here, 1, 2. So they'll have 2 movements left in their fuel gauge. We've got 1 infantry and 1 artillery coming from India, attacking 1 infantry and 1 tank division from Russia. So that is for the Battle of Persia. So we'll take that over to the battle board now. All right, so the attack by the Japanese forces, we've got 2 blue die for the fighters, and then we've got 2 green die for the infantry and the artillery. So we'll roll that now, looking for 2 hits, and they got 1 hit. So 1 hit on the blue die. So the tank and infantry from Russia will now roll a return fire, and they got 1 hit. So each one of us will lose an infantry unit. And we will press that attack on. Japan will press that attack on. So again, 2 blue die for the fighter, 1 green die for the artillery. Looking for 1 hit. And they got the 1 hit. Now, the Russian tank division will now return fire. And they missed. So we'll take that back to the board now. All right, I failed to mention with that last turn, there's 2 movements left in these fighters' fuel gauge. All right, so for the last combat move of this round, we've got a bomber that left from Burma, so a bomber from Burma, moving at 1, 2, 3 spaces up to the Caucasus, doing a bombing run on the factory there. So we'll go over to the dice board. All right, so here's the roll for the bombing run. We've got 1 black hit die, and then we've got 1 6-sided number die. So here we go. And the bomber was shot down. So good luck there by the LT and the Russian forces shooting that Japanese bomber down. Okay, so for the non-combat movement phase of this turn, the 2 fighters that attack Persia are going back to Burma. The aircraft carrier that was in C-Zone 37 is going to move 2 spaces into C-Zone 50, and the fighter that attacked the Philippine Islands will now land on it. Because they had 1 movement left in its gas gauge. And that is all the non-combat movements at this time. So now we'll place units next. All right, so for the place units phase of this turn, we're going to put the transport in C-Zone 62. We're going to put the fighter on the aircraft carrier in C-Zone 62. We're going to place the bomber on Japan. And we're going to put the infantry unit in India. So there's our placement of units. So what we've got here now, we're going to move the IPC tracker. Japan took Persia this turn, so that's 1 IPC. Japan also took New Guinea, which is 1 IPC. And Japan took the Philippine Islands, which is 2. So Japan will move up a total of 4 to 28. UK will move down 1, 2, 1 for New Guinea, and 1 for Persia. So they'll move down from 31 to 29. And then the US will move down from 39 to 37 for the loss of the IPCs for the Philippines. Okay, so Japan is on 28 IPCs on the IPC board. So we've got 28 right here. And they achieved 2 of their 3 national objectives. They control East Indies, Borneo, Philippine, and New Guinea. And they also, so they get one bonus for that, 5 IPCs, and they also obviously still control Hawaii and India, so they get 5 more for that. So Japan will have 38 IPCs to spend next round. All right, so for Japan unit placement recap, we've got 1 artillery in Persia. We've got 1 infantry, 1 factory, and 1 AA gun in India. For 2 fighters in Burma. There are, we'll come down here to the islands. We've got 2 infantry in Borneo. We've got 1 transport in C-Zone 50. We've got 1 tank in the Philippines. We've got 1 aircraft carrier and fighter in C-Zone 50. We've got 2 infantry in New Guinea. We've got 1 cruiser, 1 battleship, and 1 transport in C-Zone 48. We've got 1 infantry in Hawaii, 1 infantry in Iwo Jima, 1 infantry in Okinawa. C-Zone 62, we have 1 transport, 1 carrier, and 1 fighter. On the Big Island of Japan, we've got 2 infantry, 1 tank, 1 bomber, 1 factory, and 1 AA gun. So this concludes J4, Japan's turn 4. So LT, you got a little revenge there with that bomber getting shot down. I know we shot one of yours down earlier today. So good luck on your UK turn. Actually, not really, but but anyway, so from the turret here in Goldsboro, North Carolina, Captain Jack and Pvt Joe, over and out.